How about 61? Aaron Judge had gone 7 games without hitting a home run. He'd gone 34 plate appearances without hitting a home run. Reset that clock. Aaron Judge and Roger Maris, both at 61 home runs. He points to his mom. She blows him a kiss as he's rounding the bases, points back at her. The game was tied at 3, by the way. It's not tied anymore. Now let's take a look at some of the other players involved. Like the man who almost made himself millions. Like, seriously, how much is that ball worth? And that is off the glove. Just the tip.
And we're going to highlight him.
Oh, yes, we are. Falls just out of his reach. So what does he do? He just takes it in stride. Or he throws his glove at that poor man who's like, here, have a hat. And then we're going to surrender Cobra over there on the right. So where does the ball go? It falls into the bullpen. Hi, Matt Bushman. That's Sarah Walsh's husband. He clearly hates her because look at what he does. He's like, I'm going to give it back to the family. Meanwhile, this man, he's dejected beyond belief. He is so mad. I mean, Aaron Judge is happy. Of course he is. Yankees won 8-3. Now to Maris' son.
I think it gives people a chance to look at somebody who should be revered for hitting 62 home runs, and not just as a guy who did it in the American League. He should be revered for, being the actual single-season home run champ. I mean, that's really who he is if he hits 62, and I think that's what needs to happen. I think baseball needs to look at the records, and I think baseball should do something.
He's as beloved as they come, and I think everyone is just so excited for him. But also, I think and I think it's partly because of how Aaron is, but everyone feels a part of it, and that's who he is as a teammate, and that's, I think, part of the reason guys are so excited is because they feel like they're a big part of it, and that's a tribute to him. So, pretty awesome setting up now for just an amazing atmosphere, I'm sure, again, in the Bronx starting Friday night. And, it's a good script so far.
Hey, what a night to witness some history. And Marley Rivera right in the middle of it. Marley, you've been following this man all week. So how has Aaron been dealing with, the outside noise and just, getting number 61 over with,
Well, actually, Max, I've been following Aaron Judge since 2017, so it's more like 5 years. But yeah, absolutely. We've been obviously covering him the entire year, and it's been really impressive to watch what he has done. And what's been most interesting is that today he actually admitted that it was a relief for this to happen. And there was a little bit of a joy and emotion that we finally saw, that these kind of, it was 7 games. He was getting to the second longest home run drought of the season. I'm being very careful using the word drought, but it's, of course, a drought for Aaron Judge, and finally doing it and putting himself in home run history, and not only that, in pinstripe history, which is really important to Aaron Judge. He repeatedly mentioned, Roger Maris, and spoke, how important it was to him to have that moment with Roger Maris Jr. and his mother after tying that important record of 61 home runs. And of course, he already had the right-handed hitter record in the AL, and now we see what he's doing right now, and it's just really incredibly impressive, and he admitted it right now. It's, it's off his back, and now he's going for 62.
How do you get that ball back?
Well, that was an interesting story. So in the beginning, we actually saw the ball go in the bullpen, which is like a dream scenario, right? For these kind of situations, we know that Pujols didn't even rescue his 700th ball and so on. So when we saw it go in the bullpen, we're like, that's going to be no problem. The bullpen coach was there. They grabbed the ball. You could see them kind of notice it, and they're like, oh, okay. But then Yankee security went over to the Blue Jays bullpen, and about 10 minutes went by, and the director of security came back to the clubhouse, Mr. Mark Cafales. Ball-less. He didn't have the ball in his hand, and people are like, where is the baseball? So actually, about 10 minutes later, Zach Britton, the veteran member of the Yankees bullpen, went over to the bullpen. He kind of had, not a negotiation, apparently he had a little fun with it, and of course, Jordan Romano actually gave the ball to Zach Britton, and Zach Britton now said that there's a negotiation between the Yankees bullpen, the relief corps, to see what they're going to get for actually recovering that 61 home run ball for Aaron Judge.
It was a story for the ages, and Marley Rivera always right in the middle of everything. Thanks for walking with us on SportsCenter, Marley.
Thank you, Max.
All All right, so Aaron Judge became the 5th player to hit 61 home runs in a season. The first, Roger Maris, back in 1961, who hit exactly 61 home runs in his second of back-to-back MVP seasons. Led the league in runs, homers, RBI that season. Maris' 61 home runs was an MLB record until '98, when both Mark McGwire and Sammy Sosa hit 61 plus. McGwire hit 70 in '98, 65 in '99. McGwire surprisingly didn't win MVP in either of those seasons. The player winning the MVP over McGwire in '98, Sosa, 66 long balls. He also hit 63 in '99, 64 in '01. And staying in 2001, Barry Bonds. He set the record for most home runs in a season, surpassing McGwire's 70 with 73 of his own. Is also the all-time leader in career home runs in MLB history with 762. Then Wednesday, 7 straight games in the no-fly zone. Judge hit 61, tying Roger Maris for most home runs in AL history. Still 7 more games to go.
Saw Mac a little while ago. Definitely getting better. Probably won't practice today, but made a lot of progress here in the last, 48 hours. So keep plugging away and take that day by day, see how it goes. Take it day by day. Just take it day by day. We're not really doing anything differently. Day by day, Phil. Day by day. Day by day is getting better. See how it goes. Day by day.
Does he have a high ankle sprain?
Day by day. What do I look like? A doctor? An orthopedic surgeon? I don't know. Day by day.
Genuine question. Like, what are we actually expecting of Bill Belichick at this point? Like seriously, when has he ever been the kittens and rainbows guy? Never. I think it might actually hurt him a little bit to smile, because it's always been more of it's a grimace. It's less smile. He's also really good at repeating himself, so maybe Mike Reese can help us crack the day-by-day code.
Bill Belichick is publicly leaving open the possibility that Mac Jones could play Sunday, as unlikely as that seems. And as for veteran Brian Hoyer, Belichick said, "I thought he played well in the preseason. If we need him to go, he'll be ready to go." Hoyer said his approach hasn't changed because he's always one snap away. And as for the mood in the locker room, I asked receiver Jacoby Myers how everyone is handling possibly being without Mac Jones, and he said point blank, "Too many good players on this team to call it all a waste." In Foxborough, Mike Reese, ESPN.
If Brian Hoyer does start this week, it's worth noting that Hoyer has actually lost 11 consecutive starts. That is the longest streak among currently rostered quarterbacks. His last win, well, that came in 2016 against the Bears.
More questions about Hall of Fame quarterback Brett Favre. Tax records show Favre's charity donated over $130,000 to the University of Southern Mississippi Foundation while Favre was raising money for a new volleyball facility for the school where his daughter was on the team. Favre for Hope, whose mission statement says it provides support for disadvantaged and disabled children and breast cancer patients, receives public donations. That's what Favre's attorney Bud Holmes told ESPN Wednesday night. Quote, "Those particular things, donations, I don't know. But I know he has always given back, something most athletes don't do."
Coming up on SportsCenter, the longest was 465, the shortest 355, the most significant 61. You're going to see them all coming up on SportsCenter.